All right, y'all, what is up and welcome back. So tonight we got a young lady on Instagram that is talking about natural black hair. Now, in doing so, she's making some stark comparisons and some metaphors to other ethnic groups and how they wear their hair. Now, the clip is very interesting. So what I want to do is I want to bring this up, then I want to talk about it. Let's go.
Imagine if Asian and white women were constantly perming their hair to look like 4C hair. And even though they would constantly perm their hair, it never looked quite right? It never looked exactly like our type of 4C hair. But in spite of that, they would still continue to perm it over and over and over again, and even do that to their children. And if they didn't have a perm, then they would put on a 4C hair wig. And when it came time to get dressed up for a nice event, they would say things like, "What? Me? Wear my natural straight Asian hair, my natural straight European hair with an expensive, nice dress? I'm gonna wear my 4C hair wig." Wouldn't that be a little strange to the rest of us? Like, why can't we hear how crazy then that sounds when it's applied to our own community? Imagine if Asian...
All right, that's pretty much the video. So what I'm gathering from this is the comparison between black hair and other ethnic groups of hair. And she's saying, imagine if all these other ethnic groups of women decided that they wanted to wear black hair to important events instead of wearing their own hair, which I had no idea what the hell 4C was. I'm not really, I'm not in tune with the hair world, so I have no idea. But apparently that's the code for black hair, I guess. 4C, I guess it's coarse textured hair or whatever. Now, I will say this, African-American women have made an entire industry out of this stuff, like a booming industry, billion-dollar industry out of, fake hair and stuff like that. But that's secluded within the United States and some parts of Africa and, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. Do people prefer this? And when I say people, I mean not just the people that are wearing it. Do people prefer to see African-American women without their natural hair? Do the men that like African-American women, do they prefer the women with natural hair? And the answer is going to always be yes. Natural is always going to be fake. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's your body. Doesn't matter if it's your hair, your makeup. Look, and I can only speak for how men feel because I'm a man, but I can't speak for how other women feel when they see you and stuff like that. But as a man, I can tell you natural will always beat, the fake or the prosthetic or whatever you want to call it. Natural will always beat that. Now, I want you to imagine two scenarios in your head right now. You got a woman that has large breasts, a large butt, very little waist, but it was all surgery. And you got another woman right beside her, same measurements, but it's natural. Which one is the man going to go for? Let's just say the attitude is the same. Everything else is the same. The only difference between these two women is one has a natural body and one has a surgery body. Guaranteed the man is going to go for the natural woman 100%. Before he goes for the prosthetic one. Now, you know what? Maybe not 100%. I'm going to say 95% because you got some guys out there that, they just like that shit, right? They just like the, the prosthetic shit, but whatever. But let's even twist this and put it in a woman's perspective, right? Let's say you dealing with a guy. You ladies out there are dealing with guys, right? And you got two guys that are the exact same. The only difference is one is balding and one is not balding. And the one that's balding is wearing a toupee. Their hair looks the exact same. Okay. They both got a burst fade with curls, right? Hair looks the exact same. The only difference is one guy, it's his real hair, and the other guy, it isn't. Which guy are you going to go for if you know the truth? Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. People naturally go for natural. And it's, you wouldn't believe me if I tell you, it's not just with people, it's with stuff too. People naturally choose healthier options when given the choice. And when I say healthier, I mean more natural. Like at the end of the day, you're going to drink the most natural spring water you can find. You're going to eat the most natural foods. Natural is always best, just according to science. And not only that, attraction is based on reproduction. I don't know if y'all learned that in school or not, but attraction is literally based on reproduction. This is the reason why women tend to go for larger men, taller men, because they're more inclined to protect them. You know, it's just a natural thing in the back of your mind. And one of those things you think of when you're choosing a mate is how they look and how your children are going to look. Yes, subconsciously, when you're attracted to people, you are thinking about mixing your DNA with theirs and what kind of magic you're going to create. You're going to think about your kids. So when you're faced with something that is not real, you're naturally going to wonder, how is this gonna look? I don't know the real you. I don't know how your nose really looks, how your face really looks, how your body really looks. What type of genes am I passing on if I don't really know? And that's one of the things about natural hair. You just don't know. You don't know the true course or true texture or whatever. You don't know what you're passing on. And for those of you who know, black hair is the best hair. It's the most resilient hair on the planet. It's the only hair that can suffer the damages of all the elements and still be fine. All right. The hair that lice doesn't even like to live in. Right. This is the superior hair. Why hide it? Why mask it? Why put someone else's hair, another race of woman's hair, on your head? And it's perfectly fine. And not only that, like I said, if you ask 100 black men, what is the preferred type of hair you want on your woman? They're going to say her natural hair, whatever it is. As a woman, you could even have locks and it not be considered, it not look crazy. I mean, when guys have locks, your entire personality will change as a man if you have dreadlocks. But as a woman, no, it won't change. It'll just, add a little sensual vibe to you and stuff like that. It's not going to completely change your persona like it changes us for men. But yeah, natural hair is always going to be the best option when it comes down to it. So I think a lot of the reason why a lot of African American women do choose to not wear their natural hair is simply social conditioning. What they see in the movies, what they see on TV, what they see in it used to be the magazines, but now it's social media. What they see around them conditions them to think that their hair is not of good quality, when science will tell you the exact opposite. When the men in the community, the good men anyway, the upstanding guys, will tell you the exact opposite. Now I know what a lot of women are thinking, but this chick and this chick, they're wearing weave and they got men. That's fine. Just like mom used to tell us when we was kids, if 3 guys go jump off a bridge and they're your friends, you're going to be the 4th one to jump off a bridge? No. It's always better to do what comes naturally. And what comes naturally is to wear your natural hair. Just like us guys, we wear our natural hair, man. I mean, of course, flip-flop. It will look absolutely insane if a black dude walked out the house with like some Brazilian dude's hair or some white dude's hair or some Asian dude's hair. He will literally get laughed at. Y'all will laugh this. Let me tell you something. Y'all will roast this man back to his house so quick. He would literally go to his house and tear out the glue that was in his head to stick that thing on his head, man. So while it's a stark comparison, it's an understandable comparison too, because we have so many social dynamics in the black culture of America. You have so many social dynamics that are pushing certain rhetorics forward. And one of those rhetorics is that natural is not best. Believe it or not, yeah, that's one of the rhetorics. Natural is not best. And that's not just in the African American community. That's in the entire nation. Because if you look in all these other communities, of course, you got all this fake stuff going on. But at the end of the day, what looks best is always going to be how God made you. I'm sorry. And for the women out there that are like, BBWs and you go get some liposuction or something, I'm not talking about y'all. Okay. I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something that looks entirely different from the way God intended it to. Now, if you got some surgery to lose weight, that's fine. We're not talking about you. All right. We're talking about natural versus what's not natural. All right. Same way as you ladies, y'all prefer a man with a real beard. Y'all hate the men with the penciled on beards. Same thing. Usually men will go for a woman with her natural hair versus a woman without. Now, I'm not saying that you will not get men with your non-natural hair, because you will. Yeah, you definitely will. But the amount of guys that are going to take you serious versus the amount of guys that are just going to kind of see you as eye candy and kind of keep it moving, it's going to be a huge difference, I got to tell you. And when men see natural hair, they automatically think it's a homey feeling. That's like a wifey type of feeling, right? Because you're going to wake up the next day, it's going to look the exact same. Well, maybe not the exact same, but it's all going to be there, right? So here's my thing, and I'm going to close with this. Love how God made you. Point blank, period. Love how God made you. Now, I want to know what y'all think about this, because this is a very controversial topic, so I'm sure a lot of people got opinions about this, but I definitely want to know. And all my black men in the comments, what type of hair do you prefer on your woman? Do you prefer her to have natural hair, or do you prefer her to have, weave and the wigs and all this stuff? Weigh in on it, all right? And of course, if you like what you see, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.